Preview.
Are you serious? I mean, are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? I'm going to say it again because I can't even hardly, contain myself that the prophetic sign, this great American solar eclipse, I'm going to be preaching a message tonight here in Boise, Idaho at the Hear the Watchman Conference. It's going to be amazing. God is doing amazing things here already with tremendous messages being preached. But listen to this. This total solar eclipse is going to go through 7 Salems across America. 7 towns by the name of Salem. It starts in Salem, Oregon, and goes through the country, crossing 14 states, including 5 state capitals, but 7 cities by the name of Salem. Matter of fact, they are Salem, Oregon, and Salem, Idaho, Salem, Wyoming, and Salem, Nebraska, Salem, Missouri, and Salem, Kentucky, and Salem, South Carolina. Oh, by the way, Salem, Oregon, where it starts, just as the eclipse starts there, the sun sets in Jerusalem in Israel. Matter of fact, these towns are named after Jerusalem, Salem. And 7 Salems will be in the path of this great American eclipse. And here's what the Bible says when referring to a solar eclipse. Unbelievable. If you go to Joel 3, this is just a little nugget that I'm going to share with the audience tonight. But it says in Joel 3, verse 14, multitudes in the valley of decision. Oh, by the way, the 70-mile wide path of this solar eclipse is called the valley. All right? So multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. The Lord also shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem. And the heavens and the earth shall shake, but the Lord will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Israel. And here's this verse, one more little nugget. In Joel chapter 2, it says this in verse 30, and I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned to darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Lord has said, and in the remnant to whom the Lord shall call. 7 Salems on August 21st, 2017, the great American eclipse. And just one more little nugget for you. Shh, don't spoil it for the people tonight. But when the 7 years later, when the eclipse crosses America again, it will also go through Salem, Kentucky again, and Salem, Newfoundland in Canada. And this is the shocker of all. The where it crosses is in Carbondale, Illinois, known as Little Egypt, but it crosses at a street just outside there of Carbondale called Salem. Are you serious? What? I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy. We're living in the last days. I just looked and seen that I'm featured in 7 different articles about the total solar eclipse. Some of them with Scotty Clark, some of them with Pastor Mark Biltz, and even one of them with evangelist Ann Graham, Billy Graham's daughter. All of us talking about the coming of the Lord and the solar eclipse.
A solar eclipse happens when a new moon moves between the Earth and the Sun, blocking some or all of the Sun's rays from reaching the Earth. By cosmic chance, even though the sun is 400 times wider than the moon, it's also 400 times farther away. Therefore, the two objects appear the same size in our sky. Astronomers are able to predict eclipses because the Earth and Moon have very predictable orbits. Why then isn't there an eclipse every month? The Moon's orbit is usually tilted a few degrees north or south in relation to the Earth. When the Moon does eclipse the Sun, it casts two types of shadows on Earth: a smaller, darker shadow known as the umbra, and a larger shadow known as the penumbra. There are four types of solar eclipses. The first and most spectacular is a total eclipse, when the moon completely covers the sun's surface. A total eclipse can only be seen if you're standing within the umbral shadow. That's why the imaginary line created by this shadow as it races across Earth is known as the path of totality. People within the penumbral shadow see only a partial eclipse, the second type. From this view, outside the path of totality, the moon passes in front of the sun off-center, never fully covering its surface. Third, an annular eclipse occurs when the moon passes directly in front of the sun. However, unlike a total eclipse, the moon appears too small to fully cover the sun. The moon's orbit is elliptical, so sometimes it's closer to Earth and sometimes it's farther away. Last, a hybrid eclipse is when the moon's position between the Earth and sun is so finely balanced that the curvature of the Earth plays a role. The moon will be farther away from some parts of Earth along the eclipse's path, resulting in an annular eclipse. In other parts, the moon will be just close enough to fully cover the sun, resulting in a total eclipse. While a total solar eclipse happens somewhere on Earth every year or two, any given point on Earth experiences the event only about once every 400 years. We interrupt this video for an important safety announcement. Looking directly at the sun, even during an eclipse, can cause permanent eye damage. Fortunately, there are ways to enjoy an eclipse safely. The easiest is to use certified eclipse-watching glasses, which are shaded thousands of times darker than typical sunglasses. You can also look at the eclipse indirectly by making a pinhole viewer. Simply poke a small hole in a piece of cardboard. Hold the cardboard up to the sun, allowing the sun's image to be projected onto a flat surface. Be sure to look only at the surface and not through the cardboard. Just before the moon completely covers the sun, low-lying valleys on the moon's edge will be the only spots that sunlight continues to pass through. These remaining brilliant shafts of light, known as Bailey's beads, will disappear one after another. And finally, a single bead of light remains, known as the diamond ring, signaling that you're just seconds away from experiencing totality. Once the last bead disappears and the moon completely covers the sun's surface, the view through your eclipse glasses will be pitch black. Totality achieved. At this point, none of the sun's rays are reaching your eyes, and it's the only time that it's safe to take off your glasses. Remember to put your eclipse glasses back on before any of the sun's rays start to peek through again. Any sunlight reaching your eyes, even for a few seconds, can cause serious damage. While an eclipse can last a few hours, totality typically occurs for less than 3 minutes. Animals and plants have also been known to alter their behavior during a total eclipse. Songbirds may stop singing, crickets may start chirping, and flowers may even start to close up. We won't always be able to see total solar eclipses. The moon moves about 1.5 inches away from Earth each year. It's estimated that in about 1 billion years, the moon will be too far away from Earth to completely cover the sun.